Okay. I don't think the terrible voice that says this meeting is being recorded actually shows up on the videos. So the fact that I respond to it every time probably just confuses anyone who watches them. Anyway, this is Misery Loves Company, a weekly reading series hosted by miserytourism.com. Every Friday, we welcome outsider and transgressive writers to come and share their work. And that's fucking it. We're going to launch right into this thing today. Blick is up first. You with us, Blick?
Yeah, I'm here.
Now, the piece you're going to read was actually also recorded for a fiction podcast, right? Or some kind of literature podcast?
Yeah, I got the link. It's like a,
Yep,
it's a piece. I think I sent you the link, right? Yeah, it's from my book called Sacred Misfits, and I work with a Brazilian artist, and she gave it to that production company. So they decided to read it, and they just put it up on Monday. So I figured I'd go back. I really haven't looked at it in quite a few years. So because it's fresh again, even a fresh title. In my book, it's called The World's Greatest Saxophone Player. But then I did a stage performance, I adapted as a monologue on stage and called it Beauty Knows No Pain, for reasons that'll be apparent. And that's how the podcast came out. So I just figured it's so fucking long. I'm just gonna read the opening of it, and if you're interested, you can. This guy Eric Moore from Brazil, he did a really great job reading it. All right, so this is Beauty Knows No Pain. I'm Eric Tesla. I'm here because Dr. Wanderplatt says I have to be here, and because I know this group therapy session is good for me. As Dr. Wanderplatt says, the time has come for me to take the bull by the tail and face the situation. I was in a coma for nearly 5.5 years. A little over a year ago, I snapped out of it. Dr. Wanderplatt said these bones are going to heal, but that my mental health is kind of shaky. But so is yours, right? Or else, why else would you be here too, right? I'm supposed to tell you what happened to me, how I got here. That'll be kind of easy. I spent 5.5 years doing nothing but thinking about what happened. This past year, I talked to lots of people who helped me piece together the events leading up to my appearance in this hospital recreation room. I understand what happened. I'm not sure why it happened. I don't even know where to begin, except for this typically gray late autumn afternoon in Rantoul, Illinois, when I was 12 years old. Now, when I say it was a typical Sunday afternoon, I mean that all over town, television sets were screaming out halftime scores, and town fathers were critiquing football games from bar stools, while their kids were in the streets pretending to be the Chicago Bears. It was after a particularly vicious tackle on me by the Levitsky brothers that I flung down my helmet, threw off my makeshift shoulder pads, kicked Wayne Levitsky in the nuts, and trotted off into my living room where my father was lying on the couch watching a Bears game on TV. I stood in front of the set, blocking his view, and said, "Father, I don't want to play football. I want to take music lessons." My father propped himself up on the couch, angling his way past me, and yells, "For Christ's sakes, can't you call me dad or pop or old man? What's wrong with you? Go outside and play some ball. Don't go bother me again about music lessons." Then he launched into his, "When I was your age, I was playing halfback and defensive tackle, and damn hard too. Except for Iggy Bolton, I was the best." Just as he finished that sentence, my mother walked into the room. At the time, she was a chain-smoking woman of 37. My mother was famous for two things. One was an enormous capacity for migraine headaches. The other was her punctuating of each sentence with a cough, which isn't all that surprising when you consider she smoked 6.5 packs of cigarettes a day. Anyway, she walked in because she heard my plea for music lessons, was pretty sick of my whining about it. You see, I'm cursed with a photographic memory, and I'll never forget what she said. "Come on, Eric, give me a break. I just imagine you honking a horn around here. I'd be dead in a week." I hear enough car horns from the streets to last me a lifetime. Now, mind you, I never said anything about playing a horn. I didn't know what kind of instrument I wanted to play. I just wanted to play something. But after she told me this, she starts gagging real bad. My father instinctively reached out and slapped her on the back without taking his eyes off the game. At this time, I was reading the book that was to influence me more than any other book I'd ever read. It was titled Beauty Knows No Pain and subtitled Biographies of Obscure Musicians Who Overcame Personal Handicaps in Pursuit of Their Art. I remember the characters in that book as clearly as if they were my next door neighbors. I was inspired by an oboe player with asthma, a drummer with metal hooks, a midget conductor, a hair-lip flutist, a pianist with 6 fingers on one hand, and a 72-year-old woman who learned to play the tuba after undergoing surgery for the removal of a lung. My father once caught me reading Beauty Knows No Pain. I was stretched on my bed, totally absorbed in a chapter about Maestro Arnold, the midget conductor, when my door slammed open. I panicked and tossed the book under my bed. "Caught you," laughed my father. "What are you trying to hide from your old man?" he asked. "Nothing, Father. You just scared me, that's all." But his father approached me grinning. He pointed under my bed. "You got something under there you don't want me to see?" "No, Father." He groped under the bed until his hand latched onto the book. Then he slapped me on the shoulder with his other hand as he pulled the book out and said, "Don't worry, I won't tell you, Ma. Us men gotta know when to stick together. When I was your age, I used to keep these playing cards from Japan with these pictures of these gorgeous..." He held up the book, frowned, and then flung it at me. "What's this shit?" "It's just a library book, Father." "Then why were you hiding it?" "Because I knew it would upset you." "I ain't buying that. What are you using this book for?" "To learn," I whispered. "This book been exciting you, boy?" "Yes, Father." "When I was 14, that ain't the kind of books excited me. Where's the broads?" It does have an incredible story of a woman who learned. He pulled me off the bed and dragged me into the hall. "You're weird," he screamed at me. "I'm showing this to your Ma." My mother was sitting on the living room couch, coughing, as she stripped her colorful nails with a cotton swab and a bottle of polish remover. Father held the book out to her as she crushed a cigarette butt into the ashtray. "You want to see the stuff your son is reading?" Mother took the book, looked it over, and put it down. She put the bottle remover on her lap as she continued to work on her nails. I told her it was the best book I ever read. My father became enraged. "I tell you, the kid don't use both hands to turn the pages. Look at them rings under his eyes." Mother said, "That's because he won't eat his vegetables." I thought I heard an ally, so I told her all about the musician characters. She was quite interested in, or more accurately put, obsessed with the tuba player. She lighted a cigarette and kept badgering me about how the woman had lost her lung. I told her I didn't remember. She asked me if I was telling the truth. "Who cares about that old broad?" my father screamed. "Midget conductors. What a role model." Just then, Mother had a coughing fit. A cigarette dropped out of her mouth and onto her lap, igniting the highly flammable nail polish remover. Flames roared up. My father and I reacted quickly and with seasoned teamwork. We successfully extinguished the fire. Mother came away with only minor burns, a scorched eyebrow, and some singed bangs. You know, the more I thought of what these musicians had to go through to learn their craft, the more I would plead with my parents to buy me musical instruction. Because they wouldn't let me have music lessons, I devised a unique system of creating music. It's the nearest I could come to musical composition. You'd see, I take my 2 transistor radios, plug an earphone into each one, stick an earplug in each ear, and then tune into 2 different stations at the same time. One station might be playing classical, the other jazz or rock. I was always flipping the selected dials, making different matchups. And when the 2 musical forms would meet inside my head, I would create a new sound that no one else could hear but me. I knew my father would rather roast in hell than have any son of his taking music lessons, so I concentrated my campaign on my mother. My mother was never a demonstrative woman when it came to showing affection. In fact, the only thing she ever puckered her lips for was a cigarette. But I knew she loved me when she finally agreed to give me the money she had been secretly saving for a check that's It wasn't difficult finding a musical instructor. Rantoul boasted only one such man, Professor Theodore Bint. Professor Bint was a tall, skinny man of 59, permanently bent over as a result of constipation cramps. These cramps were due to his daily staple of fried chicken. You see, the professor's music studio was located above a Chicken Licken franchise. Bint was a bachelor who didn't know how to cook, so he depended on his business neighbor for meals. It seems convenience always won out over cramps. Besides, after 9 years on such a diet, he craved the grease. At one time, I thought he had self-destructive impulses because of his diet, but now I think it was just money. Inflationary times always calls men like Bint hardship. "Sie little brats," that's what he called his pupils, would happily sacrifice their music lessons to the family budget. I'm sure these sacrifices made the $1.56 three-piece Licken special with fries and a bun a necessity. By the time I was ready to seek out the professor, things had gotten so bad he was forced to hock most of his instruments. I remember his studio containing trombones minus the slides, pianos without brass pedals or benches, cellos without their bows, and electric guitars, which Bint claimed was the only thing "the little bastards wanted to play," were missing amplifiers. The first thing that struck me about the professor was his teeth. When he gave me his professional smile, I noticed his teeth were the same colored as the yellow newspaper clipping taped to the wall behind his desk. After freeing myself from his desperate handshake, I glanced at the clipping. Underneath this picture of a kid taking a check from a fat man, the caption read, "Teddy Bint, child prodigy, wins Rantoul's annual John Philip Sousa Memorial Award." I was impressed. All right, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Blake. Oh man, your delivery on that one was phenomenal. This piece has so many like rich characters in it, and you brought all of them to life. You know, you gave them each their own voice, and in a way that I think seemed really natural. And I don't know, I'm gonna have to listen to the podcast. I want to hear the whole thing. Thank you so much. Unity, you're up next. Do you plan to read your piece first or Jesse's piece first? I just want to put the right one in the chat here.
Okay, I guess I'll do mine first because it's a little shorter, I think.
Gotcha.
Okay, can everyone hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
All right, by hook or by crook? This is all true, by the way. This is my 2016 in a nutshell. Being a hooker is fucking disgusting. I don't know why I did it so long. I guess because in the scene I was part of, it gave a person some clout. Yeah, that's what it was. Clout. I wanted that clout so bad I used to pretend I was a hooker even before I was one. I remember going to this roundtable and discussion in Brooklyn about being a queer sex worker when I was 22. At one point, I raised my hand. Yeah, as a sex worker, I said, I feel like blah, 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 blah. All the queer sex workers sitting around the table nodded and went, yeah, totally. At that point, I never thought I would actually suck a dick for money. I was just pretending. Now, anytime I hear someone start a sentence with, yeah, as a sex worker, I assume they're just pretending too. But hey, strapped for cash and too depressed and self-loathing to get a real job? Fuck it. You only live once, right? One of the tricks I saw most frequently was Dave. Allegedly, he was Carrie Underwood's private jet pilot. One time, he told me a story about how he crashed a speedboat into a dock on a lake somewhere. Ever since then, I've been a bit worried for Carrie Underwood. Carrie, sweetie, if you're reading this, get yourself a new pilot, baby. Every time I was in Nashville, I would post my ad up on Backpage, and Dave would call within a couple of hours. He always paid for a full hour, even though we both came within 10 minutes every time. Except for the time I puked on his dick. Nobody came that time. I guess maybe it's flattering if somebody pukes on your dick, because it's kind of like you choked them with it, meaning it must be kind of big. But Dave's dick was much too small for that interpretation. I don't think he was fooled. The reality is I puked on his dick because I was like, fuck, this is so gross. I can't believe I'm doing this. Over the course of my career as a hooker, I probably sucked between 200 and 300 dicks. And I would always think the very same thing. Fuck, this is so gross. I can't believe I'm doing this. Thankfully, I only puked once, though. If it had to be anyone, I'm glad it was Dave. He left in a hurry that time, but it didn't stop him from calling me again and again. Whenever I was in town, I knew I could count on Dave. A lot of my friends used to steal shit from their tricks. I told myself I had too much of a moral compass to rob somebody, but the truth is I was actually just too chicken shit. I remember one time at Mardi Gras, we were all on acid and this girl stole a credit card from her John. We used it to buy a bunch of liquor and cartons of cigarettes. Then my girl Pussy Baby took the card on a shopping spree in the French Quarter at 8 a.m. while everybody else passed out on the floor of the Airbnb. She came back an hour later and woke us all up. I got presents for everyone, she said, her arms laden with shopping bags. My present was a pair of gold socks that said bitch on them in big black letters. I actually wore them a lot. Thanks, Pussy Baby. Fuck. The one time I did try to rob somebody. The one time I did try to rob somebody, it wasn't even a John. It was just some random dude off OkCupid who irritated me. He invited me to his crib knowing full well what he was getting himself into. Then, in the middle of making out, he suddenly started crying and freaking out. I don't know what I'm doing, he said. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't do this. I'm not gay. I just can't. Fuck, dude, I said. Okay, I'll leave. But can you get me a glass of water first, please? After he left to go get the water, I grabbed his wallet off the desk and tried to sneak out of his place. But by the time I got to his bedroom door, he was already back with the water somehow. I think he must have suspected I was up to no good and raced to the kitchen to get the water at lightning speed. Can I have my wallet back? He said. I thought about punching him in the face and leaving. He was a lot smaller than me, and I felt at the time that he deserved it. But instead, I gave him back the wallet. In retrospect, I'm grateful I didn't get away, karmically speaking, but it was extremely humiliating at the time. Once, this fat dude from Florida had me come to his hotel in downtown Chicago. I had seen him before, actually, which was good. It always felt a little less sketchy that way. I walked into his room and the bed was covered in bullets. What the fuck? I said. Oh, he said, ha ha, sorry about that. He swept all the bullets off the bed and into a backpack. Then we sucked each other off. His dick was extremely small, and he had some kind of weird growth on his inner thighs, under where his balls rested. I don't think it was a fungus. I actually think it was something permanent, like a weird flesh thing that maybe certain really fat people develop. He told me he was in love with me and that he wanted me to bareback him. Maybe next time, I said, and blew my load in his face. I went back to my apartment on 19th Street in Pilsen and logged into Grindr. After most tricks, I would get drunk and go on Grindr to try and find someone to bring me meth. I never mixed meth with hooking. Not once. I didn't want to ruin it. Meth, I mean. Plus, meth made my dick shrink down to the size of a clit, and nobody was going to pay for that. Anyway, a guy messaged me and we chatted back and forth for a while. He told me his top 5 was Tina, The Hustle, Coming, Fucking, and Bitches. He said he was about to rob a jewelry store on the South Side, but that he could stop by for a bit beforehand. I met him outside my apartment on the corner and we smoked a cigarette together. I smoked Camel Crushes at the time and he smoked American Spirit menthols, which I thought was pretty fucking classy for a jewel thief. He had a little hole in his face that kind of looked like a bullet hole, but it wasn't infected or anything. I asked what the hole was from, and he said he got in a bike accident. He showed me the console in his rental car. It had some kind of computer thing hooked up to it. I asked him what the computer was for. I'll tell you sometime, he said. I asked him if he robbed a lot of jewelry stores. All the time, he said. We finished our cigarettes. So how about it, he said. You want to come with? He opened the passenger side door. Hop in, girl. This is it, I thought. My life of crime is about to begin. I'm really going to do it. I'm going to run away with this jewel thief. We'll smoke Tina and rob bitches and ride off in the sunset like Bonnie and Clyde. Then I thought about the half a bagel sandwich and iced coffee I had chilling in the fridge upstairs. Maybe hit me up another time, I said. He held out his hand to give me something. I glanced down. It was my lighter. Damn, that guy was smooth. I didn't even remember having handed it to him in the first place.
That was so fucking funny. And I don't know if it's the microphone or what, but it really came off like a stand-up routine. You know, the delivery between the mic and the delivery, like punchline. Fucking my 2 favorite punchlines the haha, sorry about that one, and the meth I mean one. I fucking lost it at both of those. Just fucking killed me. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a weird time.
Yeah. You're going to read Jesse's piece next then? I'll
Yes.
stick that in the chat.
Thanks for joining us, Unity, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. So, I'm happy to read this Chartier's headgear. It begins with a quote. Lawrence Kasdan's script for Raiders of the Lost Ark originally had his name as Victor LeVar, but subsequent drafts settled on Emile Belloc, except for the fourth draft, which experimented with the name Chartier. IndianaJones.fandom.com. With wolf spiders threesomes, MFM, you'll see a crafty male spider waiting for a rival to begin fucking a female before he sneaks in to climb aboard an uninvited third party to quickly consummate the act and dump off some sperm while she's distracted. Then he flees and leaves his rival to be cannibalized by the female in a post-coital feeding frenzy. Waiting for others to break their necks, making a breakthrough, then climbing through the hole in the wall that was made by someone else's efforts. So it is with Chartier. His career in the field of mercenary antiquities is full of these highlights that are lowlights. He lets others do the spade work and risk their life and limb before swooping in to pluck the treasure out of the grubby hands of his rival. In the Peruvian Amazon, he drinks ayahuasca with the Jovitos the day before they go to get the golden Chachapoyan fertility idol from the American. The Jovitos cook it all day and night, and he drinks a ladle full. And then an old man in a loincloth blows a steady stream of tobacco smoke through a pipe stuck up Chartier's nostril until he's weeping. It's supposed to put you in touch with the spirits. He's crouching in his dark hut after he retreated, the Jovito shaman telling him he shouldn't be left alone for this experience, Chartier shooing him away like he was a tsetse fly. There's a campfire outside the hut which illuminates the doorway in uneven waves cut by the ebony shadow of any Jovitos passing by. It's not long before he pukes into his colonial pith helmet and sprays unending jets of diarrhea into a bucket, spewing from both ends. What did he eat? They told him not to drink any Manioc beer beforehand, but he did. The scrapings of the bee copy vine in the brew are like sneaky first intruders holding the portcullis up, letting the DMT through the stomach wall, unmetabolized and past the blood-brain barrier. Wait, what's DMT? It's the name for what is happening to him. He senses the psychochemistry. The name doesn't matter. Words are discarded in the monstrous face of intoxication. He imagines it won't be anything, nothing profound. He'll just be drunk as a lord. He wonders if it'll be like the hashish he first took in a crowded cafe in Istanbul in 1928. He smoked it out of a hookah as he sat with Mehmed, a fat Turk he was trying to deceive out of 5,000 piastres for a fake piece of ancient Greek statuary. The hashish had worked its canonical magic. He got drunk on that, too. He ended up getting distracted by the sunlight striking a spinning folk record and printing its reflection as a fiery tunnel opening twirling on the cafe wall. Hard to talk terms with a shrewd businessman like Mehmed when you're mesmerized by the texture of the liquid voices around you, the carpet of what your ears newly take heed of, the way you were stoned enough to perceive that no one in the cafe speaks a pure enough Turkish for you, even natives. They're all stuck at the level of speaking mere dialect, and each noun has a long stream of suffixes blown off its back by the wind tunnel of time. The Greek statue was a fake. Mehmed saw right through it. What's the harm in the world being populated with fake antiquities? Nobody notices, but scientists and journalists. What if the Rosetta Stone, crowded by tourists in the British Museum, were actually a fake, but such a convincing one that it carved time itself into a new channel, a new chute that all subsequent linguistic science must slide down? He is still shitting into a bucket. His ass feels like Iguazu Falls. A shadow envelops and darkens the hut's interior as a Jovito shaman comes inside to check on him. "You're riding the jaguar," the shaman says. Chartier looks up from the basin of the upturned pith helmet he's holding up in front of him. He realizes he's been staring into his own puke for what seems like months. "Leave me alone," Chartier says in Jovitos. The shaman is a second person, and all second people entering Chartier's room will alter the hem of the psychic shame gradient surrounding him. Another person's presence introducing too much question space where Chartier's self could deteriorate. What you are getting rid of is your evil energy. Cast it away from you. The shaman has a shrunken, pointy head, like an anteater. Resisting ayahuasca intoxication, the Frenchman fights off ego death and begins inspecting the walls of the strong inner compartment of Eurocentric deceitfulness he keeps hidden from the shaman, the same compartment he would hide from the dusky people in any colonial milieu. Egypt, India, Indochina. All diggers and water carriers and errand boys on a site. The archaeological white man's burden. He supposes Hitler will enslave these people or wipe them off the face of the planet. Some extinct races would be wholly known by their artifacts in a museum, their trinkets and trash carving their own long gutters in time. Chartier would be a curator of global ghosts. He doesn't care. The Third Reich is just another wolf spider fucking its lady and letting Chartier dart in and out to get his pecker wet. He's going to get rich and powerful. The Jovitos don't know that Chartier will trick them, flee to sell the Chachapoyan idol in Marrakesh, then on to Cairo and the Ark. You have a very great spirit, evil spirit attached to you, the shaman anteater says. Lay down here. He helps Chartier pick up his pants and moves him over to a bamboo pallet in the corner of the hut. Chartier lays down and instantly begins seeing, in the darkness above his head, dazzling bright lines intersecting, cubes multiplying and hinging infinitely, patterns speeding up, the foreshortened angle on each cube suggesting further patterns, a folding and unfolding stained glass window. It means something, but just what is tantalizingly out of reach. The anteater kneels over Chartier and puts his hands on him, as if to hold him down. Chartier's limbs begin to feel like they are becoming concrete, gradual. Then his torso, his body proceeds to die in segments until he feels that his heart is the last part of him that is free, that will die too. And he tries to say to the shaman, antidote, but he can't move his lips. The Frenchman does not belong. He is an alien among these people. A week or longer of frightening visions in the dark, worse in their details than any nightmare. Then the ancient anteater above him speaks. I am here to guide you, it says. You have a choice. Be rid of this evil festering within you and one day die. Or you can learn the secret of death from the grandfathers. I don't know what that voice. Chartier doesn't want to die, not even one day, but he can't speak the words. With terrifying intuition, he senses the decision will need to be made within himself. Can he trust himself to communicate without words the right answer to the anteater man and the spirits beyond, the grandfathers watching from the rainforest? He doesn't know what he answers, or even what a question is. He conceives of further patterns in the dark above his reclining mind's eye, truth mosaics versus death mosaics, seeing the pointillism of disparate insight squares sifted next to each other like Scrabble tiles and suggesting a third, piercing insight about death hidden to all eyes. Chartier, the European, has enough of his mind left to see that this thing here has the trappings of a more modern and civilized insight than a primitive Amazonian one, selected in a 1936 gringo language he would understand. Chartier is from an advanced technological race, and though the headgear, the action of the ayahuasca mechanism, is the ultimate technology, the lesson must be given with concepts close to where the Frenchman lives, to the grandfather's displeasure. Somewhere in this civilization, time got recorded as media spirals, the tightly wound grooves of the Turkish folk music record, the tight spool of the motion picture cliffhanger reel shown at the movie theater, where the hero dodges a falling round boulder in a cave. Essentially, if life is a movie to these Westerners, then the death scene will be edited out and spliced over by Chachapoyan angels Chartier sees them as. Omitting not only his inevitable death scene as a Nazi collaborator, one alias away, the head explosion at the tabernacle, but all his other potential death scenes at the end of all other potential life movies. This is how you gain immortality. As you skip from movie to movie, all your dying scenes will be edited out. Chartier wakes, much later, his head feeling empty and light, like an apartment cleared of furniture. He props himself up on one elbow and peers out the hut to see 3 Jovitos children playing some kind of game on the ground. It's like marbles. Somehow, this children's game is a flag indicating to Chartier that he did not die. This is no afterlife. He's still there. He gets up and stretches. He sees his pith helmet on the ground. Somebody has cleaned it out while he was sleeping. The same with the bucket. The Jovitos really seem to care for him. He feels monstrous for wanting to betray them and everyone else. Them and everyone else. He's still going to. He stands by the door, looking out at the rich, vibrant green of the jungle. He looks back at the bucket. The English have an expression: to kick the bucket, to die. A formalism there exists in film, missing in life, whereby the audience can sense a character's death approaching. The character is given a chance to make a kind of oblique summary or gesture to give one last stroke of meaning to their finite life, unaware of what lies a few shots ahead. If his audience could see the death coming, he could appeal to celestial editors to edit it out and somehow carry on in continuity without missing a step. It's not perfect. He's left with the fanciful notion that with each omitted death scene, there will always be hidden away in the nearby cauterized footage the inferred aura of mortality. A look on some actor's face about to watch you disappear. Thus, the suffering of death will be distributed across the continuity and consistency of edited time. Toxic drug-fueled gibberish. Life and death are infinitely more complex than even the grandfathers can imagine. Chartier walks out into the camp. It's already mind-meltingly hot. He finds a chieftain and gets a canteen of warm Maniac beer and drinks half of it down. The warriors start assembling their spears and blowguns, smearing darts with curara. The Chachapoyan temple is 3 hours away. The Jovitos have been following their quarry for 3 days. They have waited for Chartier to, if not lead them, be a spiritual guide for their mission. They don't know what's heroic and what's villainous. After having him among them, partaking in their most sacred rituals and secret connections, they don't know who Chartier is.
That was fucking rad. First of all, Unity, amazing delivery as usual. Jesse, I love how much fucking variety there is to the stuff that you write. Like you've read, had read like 4 of your pieces, I think, at Misery Loves Company, including the poems we published, and each one is so fucking radically and dramatically different in style and tone and content, like, and just wildly inventive. I mean, I would never have even like conceived of like marrying Indiana Jones fan fiction with quantum immortality. I mean, that's such a fucking brilliant, it's like, that's genius. That's genius. And like to go that deep inside the brain of a character who in the film is like a pretty generic disposable villain and give him that much like texture and complexity, and to turn the whole thing into this like really meditative piece about mortality and like the consequences of our actions and shit. I don't know, it's fucking wild. It was awesome, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's super fun to read. It felt like reading like a radio adventure, you know, like an old time like radio play adventure, which obviously like fits in with the theme and everything.
Yeah,
and
like one of those classic serials, and you really nailed the vibe there. Like
the sentences are really fun to like wrap your mind and brain around.
That's sort of why
the radio part also fit in with your microphone. I really felt like it was like a 1930s. I thought Orson Welles was going to smack you in the back of the head, you know? It's fucking great. It was great. It was such a great visual.
Yeah. This is why I wanted Unity to read, because I thought it might suit the writing somewhat.
yeah, absolutely.
I actually feel like I'm not the best reader, so I just wanted to hear what it sounded like, and he did a great job.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a fantastic story, and it was fantastically read. Rudy is up next, and we are going to demo a game. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Oh, and after we're finished, it'll be open mic. So if anyone wants to read during the open mic, you can just say something in the chat, and hopefully one of Rudy or me will see it. Anyway, Rudy.
Yeah, so this is a game. First of all, I want to apologize to William because I know I had asked you to read the rules and for you to play with me. But I was wondering if someone else might want to jump in and play, because the reason is this game has a lot of data transfer going on. I don't want to crash the stream basically, so because I kind of haphazardly threw it together like last night and this morning. I hadn't really had much sleep, so I am not sure about. I don't want to crash the stream basically. Huh?
You need another reader or what?
Not a reader, just somebody to play along. I'm gonna explain the rules and
I want to
stuff.
play along.
Cool. Yeah, sure. I can send you the link, definitely. So at first I'll kind of read the rules and I'll kind of explain it while we play too. So yeah. So this is a game called Winchess. Winchess is a 2-player chess-like digital board game inspired by the legends surrounding the Winchester Mystery House, which is awesome. You should totally click that link. So both players control a Sarah Winchester piece, 3 casualty pieces, and 1 Winchester rifle. And just for a little background of the Winchester House, for people who don't want to click the link, basically Sarah Winchester was the widow of Sam Winchester ? The guy who invented the Winchester rifle, and basically she thought that she was haunted by the ghosts of everyone killed by the fucking rifle, which is pretty awesome and metal. And I looked at that, I said, shit, I have to make a game about that. And because I'm super autistic, I wanted to make a chess game about it with pieces that come back from the dead after they're killed. So anyway, all pieces can capture. And if your Sarah Winchester piece is captured, the game ends. So the Sarah Winchester piece is like the king, basically. When casualties or Sarah Winchester are captured, they return to the board as spirits, which haunt only the player who killed them. Spirits can only be seen with the Crystal Diviner, which is a special piece that looks like a big crystal that switches control every 3 turns. And those that haunt you are dangerous, whether you can see them or not. So basically, the things you kill haunt you, and only you can interact and see them. Columns block all spirits' movement. Blocked spirits become enraged, and while they remain angry, the crystal shrinks each turn, which we'll get to later. But the end of the current game isn't the end, and this is where the large amount of data transfer comes into play. When Sarah Winchester is captured, a new game begins, and all previous spirits remain. So play continues until the Crystal Diviner sees the ghosts of its owners, Sarah Winchester. And when this happens, the next player to capture their opponent, Sarah Winchester, the king piece, is the winner. Alternately, if the crystal becomes too small to see, the spirits take over the house, and both players lose. So I'm not going to read the strategy session or section. I'm just going to link to this shit here.
I think I just put the link in the chat.
Okay.
To the network build, the one on registered hex offenders.
That's the one, yep.
You mind if I tweet that link out too?
I wouldn't tweet that link. Just because I might want to run it in there's a little contest for chess, or not a contest, but a game.
I won't share the link then.
I want to surprise people with that, so. But yeah, Eris, that's the link there. I don't think you can play it on a phone. I'm pretty sure I don't know if you're on a phone or a PC.
Hey, iMac.
It should work on a Mac, I think. As long as it can run like HTML5, as long as it can run basically a browser game, it should run. So let me know when you've got it pulled up, and I'm going to share my screen. Oh, actually, just a second.
What's the room name again? Sorry.
I'm pulling it up now. I'm gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's no problem. I'm gonna get a room up here, so we can call the room MLC, just all lowercase. And don't click play yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna host it. So does everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So if you want to click play, Eris, I think it should let you join. Like I said, it should work on a Mac.
Mm-hmm.
It's just MLC. Oh, there it goes.
So
Okay.
I do not know how to play chess.
I don't either. So not really. But no, it's not really chess. It's really actually kind of a variant of chess. So white, I'm the host, so I'm going to move first. So these pieces right here, can you see my mouse or no? I'm actually not sure if people can see. You can see the mouse? Okay,
I can
great.
see your mouse. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So these pieces right here, these three, the I guess Southern Gentleman,
I
the
love
Buffalo
this. It's
Skull,
so good.
and the Native American Gentleman or whatever are the those are the casualties. This here is the Winchester rifle. This here is Sarah Winchester. These pieces here are columns, which we'll get to in a minute. And this thing here is the crystal. So I passed the turn to you because I talked so long. But if you to actually select you first, you just click on a piece, and that'll select it. And then once you've clicked on it and you see green, you can drag it to anywhere. But you just want to click on it like that. Oh, okay. Oh, I guess you may have double clicked it, or I know it's kind of the controls right now are kind of touchy. But let me try to drag it on mine here. Did you see that one move? The white buffalo skull. Okay. So if you just click on a piece, and then once the square is turned green, you can drag that piece to any green square.
Hmm.
Any of the blue pieces, or you're blue, so any of your blue pieces you can click on and drag to wherever you want to move them. Cool. Okay. That works. I see it moving. All right, so I'm gonna move there. Right now I control the crystal. It switches every 7 turns or every 7 moves. So yeah. Okay, now you control the crystal. So if you want to control the crystal, you can hold down if you mouse over the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what kind of hardware Steve Jobs is using on a fucking Mac these days, but basically if you hold it down, if you hold down the mouse button, whatever you click with over the crystal.
I actually have a PC mouse right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Great. Well, if you hold down the left mouse button over the crystal for like a second, then you can drag it. You should be able to drag it and place it somewhere on the board.
Okay.
It'll pick up and you'll be able to drag it. And you can drag it to wherever you want, and I should see it move on my screen once you do it. Let me know if you have trouble clicking on it, because I know you have to hold it down for a second and then drag.
I don't know what's happening.
I mean, you don't have to move.
This is white to move though. Like.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, my bad.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can do that on your turn, though. You can drag the crystal, but you have control of the crystal right now. So, sorry about that.
That's okay. Okay, where should I move it?
The crystal. Now that's like for strategically, like you want to basically place it over my pieces because that prevents them from moving, and it can trigger the final win condition. If it were about to switch back and it were to switch back, like if you were to box me in and the crystal would switch next turn, switch back to my control, then it would see the ghost of my Sarah Winchester piece, and you could actually end the game right there in just one fell swoop here. So I'm going to shoot my own piece here.
Oh no! What happened? Wait, what was that?
I just killed my own piece with the Winchester rifle. That means that it'll come back as a ghost, and it should make all the moves that it made before I killed it. So yeah.
Okay, so what happened? Because I'm hiding under this thing.
Oh yeah, so you're hiding under the pillar right now. So when you're under the pillar, that means ghosts can't actually get to you. Although I can rotate the pillar. So right now your piece is vulnerable. Right now, anybody can rotate these pillars. So I can rotate yours, and you can rotate mine on your turn, of course. Yeah, so right now that piece is kind of vulnerable because I moved the pillar a little bit. So I am going to move. I'm going to try my strategy that I worked out against myself and try boxing you in with the pillars. But I'm not sure if that's a real strategy because I've never actually played this against another human. So.
Well, my strategy is no strategy, so it's probably.
Hey.
But it looks really good, so it's fine. What do I...
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wait, that was good?
I'm not sure what happened. What? Huh, okay. Well, let me take a look here. I'm gonna move this guy over here. Huh, he managed to kill that piece somehow by his lonesome there.
Huh.
Okay. So I've got control of the crystal now, so I'm gonna move it. I just want to see where the hell. Okay, I didn't kill it,
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
a crystal. Oh my gosh. I had my screen all weird. Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah. This, I know it's
I thought
over.
it was like the little goat thing. Oh my gosh. Because I had the crystal. It's my setup. I'm sorry.
All good. But yeah, that moving the crystal takes my turn, so I just moved it to the center there, and that's a ghost right there in pink. You can see him right there.
Oh, that's so pretty.
The piece that died, I'm not. That's like a mysterious death. I'm not sure how he died.
I can't move the crystal.
Oh, it's under my control right now. You see, it's got a white.
The game is haunted.
It's haunted. The ghost in the machine. Ah. But yeah. So it's under my control. When it's under yours, it'll have a blue outline around it.
Ah.
Okay, so I'm gonna move that. Get my rifle out of the way. So back to you. And you can see now that ghost is red. That means that he's angry because he's trapped. Or she. It could be a female buffalo. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's angry as fuck because it's trapped, and that means the crystal will shrink every turn, which will lead us closer to the goal of nobody winning, which is my goal, because that's the way I like to play. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, try that,
Whoa, that was cool.
kill the pillar, and now it's back to you.
Oh,
And now,
oh my gosh. Okay.
and now the crystal is back under your control. So while I have something going on here, I'm going to try something stupid here. I'm going to try it. Okay, let's see. Okay, that ghost will hurt me if I move there. So if my piece moves on top of the ghost will kill it next turn. Next time Eris moves, the ghost will kill that piece. Or it should. Okay, yep. Yep, that piece dead. So what I think what happened is somehow you killed that other piece, that piece that died mysteriously, like it's haunting you. So you might see its ghost on your screen. I'm not sure if
Oh, okay.
you see it.
The door. Hold on.
Hmm?
Oh god. Yeah.
See, I gotta decide on my move here. Ooh. That there, I think.
Okay, hi. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. But I moved the pillar to the left there, so it's covering up the ghost again. No, the crystal is under your control, so if you can figure out how to move it, you can theoretically throw it on top of me and like jank me or something.
Whoa. I can't seem to move it. I don't know why.
Well, to move it, what it's supposed to be is
I don't
you're
know
supposed.
the swivel, like the cool swirly thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So it's swirling. So so that means you. Oh, you moved it. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I think, is since I'm in a kind of bad position anyway here, I'm gonna end the game, the first iteration of the game. Okay. So now I'm going to. You should see a screen that said you died or something, or black.
Sarah Winchester has joined the spirits.
Yep. So now we're going to restart another iteration of the game here. So I'm going to hit end. And this just restarts the board. But what it should do is it should keep all the spirits, everything that happened during the first game is still relevant. So all the spirits and shit are still on the board somewhere. Okay, so it's your move to start. I've got control of the crystal right now. So I know, well, let me see here. So right now, I don't know if anybody, I can't see it on my screen because this damn thing is in the way, but there's a thing, there's a text up at the top that says promenade. That means that all of our pieces are invulnerable for the first four turns. And the reason for that is because if they weren't invulnerable, then we would just come back and die instantly because there would be, or we could theoretically come back and die instantly because there could be spirits underneath us and they would just be waiting there to kill us, kill our Sarah Winchester piece, and it would just loop infinitely. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move this here. And it's back to you. Okay, as you can see, the crystal is getting really small now, and that's because
Oh shit.
that's because there's ghost pieces. I think Eris's piece should be under a ghost, and yep, it certainly is. That's ghostly Sarah Winchester right there in red, and she's just kind of chilling there. And the ghosts, once again, the ghosts get angry when they're contained by the columns, so that's not great for the possibility of an actual win. that ghost just died, or that guy just bit it from a ghost. So we're out of promenade now, so pieces can be killed now. Okay, now you control the crystal now. So I'm gonna try to do, once again, trying some stupid shit here.
Oh, okay, so. Oh.
And I just did something really dumb, but alrighty. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Ooh, that's, yeah. Yeah, that was not smart of me. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this. Oh shit, why did I? No, oh, god damn it. Oh, I fucked it up. I see what you're setting up here for, I think.
I'm not doing anything.
I don't know. Oh, hey, move. Oh, okay. Alright, so let me see. So I'm gonna move this guy here first because I'm really dumb. And as you can see, the crystal is getting smaller and smaller, and pretty soon it's gonna turn red if we make it that far. Nice.
I just want to be
Hair.
Yep.
Naughty.
Okay, so my turn here. Go there.
Oh, the crystal's so tiny.
Oh boy, I really fucked that up. Oh, I really fucked that up. Good.
I think that was our first troll with pronouns in his name. So the trolls are
Respectful trolls.
Oh my gosh, woke trolls.
Well, trolls. Okay, let me see if I can. Oh, that's dumb of me. I really fucked this up so bad.
You know what? So did Sarah.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, actually, she didn't. You know, she did her work and she followed
Yeah,
some instructions of keep building that house and you'll be fine. And she was fine.
Fuck yeah.
I've never actually seen that movie, but I read about it.
Yeah, there's a couple. I think there's a book that uses it heavily. I'm not sure what the name of it is. I looked up just a Wikipedia article and.
Oh God.
Oh shit! Oh, it's red. Uh-oh. Okay, so now that the crystal's red, that means that these columns here, these are gonna move randomly and kill random things.
Oh,
So
no,
if they move and land on you, then they'll kill, well, whatever is underneath them. So, I don't have much choice but to So I don't have a spirit. So I'm gonna try to move the columns as far away from my Sarah as I can here. If I can. Now remember, you have your Winchester rifle still. I have mine still, but I'm not in a great position to use it. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I think, if I control the crystal, I think I can break it on you. Oh, right, but I have to wait. Oh, F. Oh, boy. That might not work, and that he's going to die before that, I think. So it's back to you. Okay. So I might be able to Yep. Okay. Back to you. Oh no! Oh fuck! I forgot about the one under mine. Okay, yeah. So that. Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. Oh, you. Oh, damn. Okay, yeah. See, if the crystal had been in my like right on top of me, then you would have just final ended it. But instead, we're going into another game.
Okay, well now I died too, so that's good.
It's all evened out. Okay, so remember the crystal's still red, so that means that shit is still gonna start moving here.
Oh wow.
But we're in promenade now, so we're all invincible for 4 turns, so should be all good. Okay. Fascinating. Alright, so move that. I need to get, oh boy, that red crystal is really gonna fuck me though. Ooh. Okay, oh boy, I can't even get to safety now. That's not great. Which I might be able to if I go this way. Because I don't think I moved her yet. So the ghosts just follow the patterns of movement that they've done during the game. So if like I moved, here, then here, then here, and here, the ghosts will move exactly like that. So I didn't move my Sarah piece. Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Okay. No, it was the column landed on you, I believe.
Ah, damn column. That was
Yeah.
beautiful. That was the coolest way I've ever died in a video game.
That's high praise, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's back to you. And the crystal is now really small, so once it gets to once it gets to the point where we can't see it anymore, the game is over and we both lose. So let me see what I can do here. I'm trying to get away from these fucking crystals. So I'm gonna move on to my own piece now because I can do that. Oh, and it just killed him. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm gonna try to move away from the columns. Just like in a hurricane, stay away from the windows and all other shit. Oh, and I killed my rifle though, so I can't. Oh boy. Ooh. Oh boy. Okay. Ah, shit. Well, that wouldn't be smart, would it, for me to do that? So I'm gonna go here. Okay. Oh well, damn. I wish it had killed the rifle. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty much fucked now. But so that being the case, if I control, I do control it. So I'm gonna see if I can put it on her, so I can break it, just so it doesn't end the game with a double loss. But it might though. Ooh, let's see. Oh boy. Oh shit. Oh, it didn't end it. Oh shit. Okay. I got lucky there, I guess. But the crystal is really small, so it's probably gonna get fucked unless it breaks first, because it might be. Oh, that's right. It resets this. Okay, so yep, back to you. Your turn. As you can see, this crystal is tiny as shit. Wait. Okay, so one positive, I guess, thing about question mark, depending on if you want to win or lose, about the columns is they can move the columns off of the ghosts. So now I don't think if I do that, I don't think there would be any ghosts that are restrained. So the crystal.
I was wondering how you would like combat the ghost thing. So
yeah.
Cool.
So like if there are no ghosts trapped, then the column or the crystal is not going to shrink any further. But it looks like there's still some trapped because they could literally be anywhere, and who knows with all these columns moving around here. So yeah. So it's back to you. Oh, it's not. Yep. So that was the double loss condition. And that essentially is the game. But yeah.
So cool.
I know it's kind of a hasty demo. But yeah, still don't know how that first ghost got made, but he made the difference there because he actually killed someone and fucking ended the game once. So I don't know. Cool. But yeah, that's basically the game.
Yeah.
It's a chess like with some of the things I dislike about chess heightened, and some of the things I dislike about chess not there, like the strategy. But yeah.
Is that going in the jam you showed me?
I might put that one in, or I might throw up the. They have a thing about like time or something for the jam, like it's like something like time based or whatever. That uses time, so I might throw up gender chess or hourglass, which uses literal hourglass timers. So I might throw that one up. I don't know.
That's a great concept.
Hey, thanks, Unity.
The Winchester Mystery House.
I know. I know that is an awesome concept, and I love the idea of there being ghost pieces that haunt the bard. That's a really great concept. What was controlling the speed at which the crystals shrank? Is that just effectively a timer, or does?
So the number of ghosts that are captured. Remember when I showed you the ghost that was red and he was
Yeah.
angry because he was stuck? The number of ghosts that are captured controls how fast it shrinks. So when they're captured, they shrink the crystal, and it
Oh,
becomes like
okay.
a real.
So even if they're caught in the columns, then that causes the
Yep.
crystal.
If they're caught in the columns are the only thing that can stop the ghost. So like I
Oh,
guess
the
like
crystal does. So if the crystal is over the ghost, it doesn't stop the ghost. It just reveals the ghost.
yep, it just shows the ghost so you can see what the hell is going on, which I guess
Gotcha.
is kind of like I mean that's I guess the strategy is basically to manage your own ghosts with your columns and shoot the columns so that they can't manage theirs. Basically, that's the low level strategy. I haven't really played it before now, but that's basically the deal.
Gotcha.
Because the ghosts, the name Winchess, like the more you win, the more you're punished because the ghosts are going to be on your ass if you really destroy your opponent. So the more you win, the more kind of difficult it is to win further games. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's a great concept. I'll have to play it with you at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's open mic time. I know Griffin has a piece that they want to read. Did anyone? Oh, see you, Unity. Did anyone else have a piece they wanted to read during open mic? If so, you can just put it in the chat. Anyway, Griffin, it's all yours.
Okay, I'm also going to be sharing my screen, so get ready. Put away all the drugs you took out when Rudy stopped.
Oh shit!
Screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
You can. I can't
Okay.
anyway.
Sure can.
Oh nice! Oh shit!
Okay, and I need to test if you can hear my screen.
Mhm.
Can you hear this?
Oh no, I can't.
No, I can't.
We need
Shit.
to though.
Masterpiece. Oh my god.
Okay, I might not be able to hear it. Can you hear this?
Nope.
No.
Nope, can't hear it.
Unplug everything.
Okay.
Yeah, Rudy.
So
Yeah,
for screen share, are you doing a share of just your whole screen, your full screen? Because I know there's an option to share audio under one of the things. If you go to screen share, then there's a bunch of there's options to share the individual screens. But then there's also the option to share with audio, I think.
All right.
I hear it.
There we go.
Excellent.
There we go.
Okay. So this is from Katabasis, the zine that I released yesterday. Its title is Forget Me. Here we go. I want to be forgotten. 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 Memory is a prison for the soul. As long as I am remembered, I cannot escape the world that traps us. I want hateful bodies and minds that suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer. I want to be suffer and suffer and no tombstone, no mourner, suffer and suffer, no obituary, no funeral, and suffer. Forget me and suffer and suffer and suffer and. So there we go.
That was
Oh,
so
man,
cool.
you just captured
Damn.
how it feels to be inside my brain. So that was fucking brilliant. I think
Holy shit.
one of the best uses of the Zoom conceit.
Mm.
That fucking,
Yeah, I wanted to read something from the zine, but none of it is readable. It's all Like this is the most like normal literary of any of it, and it's got all this shit
I have
going on.
the fullest new mental illness now.
Well, it's fucking awesome. And I mean, it speaks, I love shit like this because it's, and like Rudy's game and stuff, because it's stuff that you can only do in a Zoom reading. Like you can't go to a fucking coffee
Yeah,
shop. And
I
do
mean,
this.
unless I like bring a fucking loop pedal or something, but that's like some try hard shit.
Yeah, no, that is fucking awesome. And as I said, very in keeping with my current state of mind. So it's just spectacular. I love the image. I assume that like this is what actually appears in the zine, right?
Yeah. So this is hold on, let me post the link in chat. Everyone. So yeah, this is the page in the zine. It's available on my itch.io page.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
For
look,
free,
You don't mind
or
if
you
I
could
share
give
it
me
on
money
Twitter.
if you wanted to. But you don't have to. And it's good. I made it at work when I should have been working.
nice.
Boy, if someone had walked by your computer at the time, would
I made it entirely analog. I made it using fucking glue stick and tape and
Oh
paper.
shit.
wow.
Yeah. And I also made physical copies that can be had at Quimby's bookstore if you're in Chicago. If you're not in
Wow.
Chicago, you're out of luck.
Next time
Damn.
I'm in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
That's
Okay,
fucking
I'm gonna
awesome.
stop sharing my screen now. But I'm glad you all enjoyed it.
That
And
was
you don't
awesome.
mind if I share the link to Zine on Twitter?
Yeah,
like
go for it. Do it.
the IO link.
I want you to, in fact.
Ah, good. Okay. Just gonna do that really quick. Did anyone else have a piece they want to read? It's only 9:30, guys. Come on. Usually you keep me up to like fucking midnight here.
Yeah, get in here.
Steven commented on my hair in the chat. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Blake, you have a short piece. I was looking at the chat and I was so narcissistic. I only read the shit about me and I didn't read Blake saying that he had a piece to read. Yeah, it's all yours.
All right, this is, I'll just read another short piece from this book. It's called Dear Miss. The captain's dead, but hard to forget. He has to be dead. Nobody's liver could survive all those years of poisoning. That's the word he used, poison. Never drinking or booze or alcoholism. It was poison that ruined his life. The captain was a romantic, so was I. Years ago, I tended bar in a Fleabag dump called the Secondhand Rose. I wanted to experience life and write about it, so I dropped out of Rutgers for 3 semesters and poured the vinegar that my boss called wine into small cups for customers like the captain and his mates. Mates. That's the word he used for the sour-smelling people he drank with. The captain was different, though. He had enough pride not to make excuses unless he thought they'd be believed. When the captain spoke, he nearly always made sense. Last week, I found a sealed letter the captain gave me. I was supposed to deliver it to a woman customer who came into the Rose every Tuesday night. She always stayed for about an hour and sat at a table by herself, never saying a word. She told me she liked scotch, and that was the only time I ever heard her speak. But we communicated. She sipped scotch until her glass was empty, and then she'd nod in my direction, and I'd bring her another one. I never knew her name, but then I didn't know the captain's name either until I opened his letter. One day, she just stopped showing up, so I wasn't able to give it to her. I tucked it in a vest pocket, where it lay crumbled for years. How many years? I'm not sure. There's no date on it. Dear Miss, I give this note to Big Bob to give to you because I know Big Bob's going to be tending bar Tuesday nights. You ain't been here in weeks. For a year now, you've been real important to me, and now you ain't here no more. Please come back. I'm ready for you, miss. To meet you, I mean. Your secondhand Rose ain't the same place anymore. Your perfume's gone, and now piss and farts is all you smell on Tuesday nights. Even Big Bob said so. I miss you very much. Hello, miss. My name's Eddie, but friends call me the captain. I ain't a real captain or nothing. I mean, I'm sort of a captain. I'm the floor man on the scrambler at Coney Island. I mean, I used to be. I'm the guy at the bar with the sailor hat on. To be honest with you, miss, I wear the hat all the time because of my bald spot. It ain't that big, you know. You look real pretty, miss. I mean, there ain't been no lady in roses looking like you in years. Not by herself, anyway. Not alone. I hope you ain't sad or nothing. I ain't sad. Being a little scared don't count, right, miss? You like music? I'm a musician. Play harmonica. Grandfather taught me when I was a kid. I'm what they call a street musician, mostly old Italian songs. I play across the street from SBQR in Little Italy. Ever been there? The Arabs in the kitchen treat me real good. On Saturday nights when it's warm, there's a lot of bucks to be had. You got to come back to Roses, miss. I've blown too many chances. You can't take my Tuesday nights away like that. You can't, miss. You're making me scared. I know you don't like talking to people, miss. You don't like being bothered. Me too. Big Bob will give you this. It's sort of like a letter of introduction, right, miss? You got to show, miss, please. I'm the captain, the guy in the sailor hat at the bar. Or you can call me Eddie. I want to see you smile, miss. You don't drink that much. I mean, you're never blitzed after your hour on Tuesday night. I respect that in a woman. You got all your teeth, so I know you ain't a tramp or nothing. You're a lady, miss, a real lady, and you ain't fat at all. Forgive me, miss, but you're real important to me. You make me feel like a man again, know what I mean? Last year, before you started showing up Tuesday night, I sort of let myself go. You know, relax myself. I dream about you, miss. I ain't dreamed about a woman in 3 years since that Puerto Rican jerked me off behind the control booth at Coney. She didn't like me or nothing, just wanted a free reride. I gotta be honest with you, miss. I ain't much. I'll tell you a story that might help you figure out who I am. It's something my brother told me. He once said I was the type of guy that sits in his room masturbating and thinks it's an explosion. I ain't exactly sure what he means, but it sounds truthful. I don't know if you noticed, miss, but I've been cleaning myself up a bit each Tuesday night. I seen you looking over at me, but I don't think you seen me. You gotta come back to Roses, miss. I'm starting not to like myself again. You make me feel like a man, miss. No disrespect, miss, but my prick feels alive. I mean, it kind of sings to me now. I forgot all about that. You know, after a while, it just pissed all that stinking juice I drink. I dream about you, miss. I dream I see you with nothing on. You're a beautiful woman, miss. You gotta return to your table at Roses. You gotta. I ain't dreamed about you in 2 weeks. I need that dream, miss. I need a dream about me rubbing my nose against your belly and you laughing and smiling. I never seen you smile. Miss, listen, miss. I don't want this note to make you nervous or something. You don't gotta see me if you don't want. Not right away, anyway. Things take time sometimes. But give me back my Tuesday nights, okay, miss? Sit down at your table and have some drinks. I'll spring for some. I won't spin around and stare at you. I like watching you in the mirror over the bar. Lots of times I gotta tell Big Bob to move the hell out of the way because he blocks my view. Miss, please come back. Tuesday night I left Rose with pee stains on my pants. That don't happen when you're here. I'm real careful, miss. Thank you for reading this note. I miss you, miss. That's sort of funny, ain't it, miss? Missing you, miss? I want to make you laugh. Best wishes, the captain, Eddie. I just want to say something about this story, okay? I wrote this, I thought it was a love story, right? I sent it out like 40 places, including David Byrne, who I did some work with. He started a publishing company. And so I sent it to him, and he didn't look at it, but he knocked it over to the editor in charge of the publication. And what a fucking letter back, man. She's saying that we don't publish this misogynist filth, and this is, how dare you insult. And here I'm thinking, like I got tear stains because I think it's such a beautiful love story. So it was rejected like 38 times, right? On the 39th time, because I didn't believe, I said, fuck, there's got to be at least one person that doesn't think that this is, an attack against women. So in 39th time, I sent it to the Los Angeles Review, and they accepted it, and it was really so satisfying to me. The woman who accepted it was Kate Gale, and they also own Wrenhead Press. So instead of putting it in, so a female editor accepted it instead of putting it into the LA Review, they put it into this really cool anthology. And things snowballed, and as a result of this story that was rejected 38 times, it ended up with me getting a short story collection from Red Hen, you know? So I always told my friends, and I used to always tell students and shit, if you believe in something, you know, even if everybody is telling you it's a piece of shit or they're getting insulted by it, that's what I like about with this group. This is what Unity Turn is a group. This is all, nobody gives a fuck. You just write your own truth, you know? And so it's like, you know, I'm an old guy. I'm just an old man in short pants and compression stockings, right? What the fuck do I know? So when I get on, so when I come on here, it's like the freedom here of not giving a shit is like, it's just great. And this stuff is all so good. And I love that you're getting blocked. I like to listen, you know, I'm like Chancey Howell, I like to watch, right? So I listen to you guys, and every time you get blocked, you should be getting some kind of fucking Russian medal pinned on your goddamn jacket or something, because that means that you got to somebody, right? That you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beach.
I agree 100%. And I love the story, and I also love your story about the story, because I think it really does get at something, right? Like how important it is to like read shit charitably and to read shit like just a little bit of common sense and a little bit of perception and a little bit of nuance, right? Because so much of the, like when you were reading, I was going to say like, this is crude, it's crass, and it's also a really beautiful, sentimental kind of love story, you know? And like, some people are like, they have such like rigid ideological blinders on that they can't see that complexity. They can't see that this guy, in his like incredibly sad, limited, drunken way, has like profound love for this woman that he knows, you know, he's never going to have, that is just like his waitress. And like, I don't know, there's something like so bittersweet and wonderful about that. I don't know, but some people, they see it and they just see the language, right? They see the words, they don't see the meaning.
But you guys, but everybody on here is just like, you know, I don't know. It thinks like, I used to think that was really fucked up, that I was lucky that I was young and when I was, because, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll and stuff and everything. But I don't know, the sophistication with you, the sophistication that I'm seeing on this. And I taught creative writing all over the place for 25 years, but I've never experienced anything like I've seen since Unity. Unity's was my channel. Unity turned me on to all these like really great stuff. And so, all right, my speech is over. Thanks.
No, thank you. And I really, sorry, Rudy.
Sorry, that was awesome. That I love just how visceral that was, and I just wonder what William said, I love the story about the story getting rejected and you shopping it around, and I wonder what those 38 motherfuckers, to use a Harlan Ellison reference, I wonder what they were like. I don't know. I just wonder, like, what goes through the heads of some of these editors who feel the need to, like, respond to something like that the way they did.
Well, the satisfying thing was that it was Kate Gale, was a female editor, did it. But the only person I wanted to take the book and shove up his ass was David Burns. It was David Burns. And I saved that for years, and I lost it because it was like a Dead Sea Scroll of you know that I should be murdered or something, you know, just for
wow.
I honestly think there are a lot of people that use sensitivity as a weapon to inflict cruelty. I really do. I think that like misery tourism, at least I hope, is kind of the opposite of that, where there's a lot of cruelty in the work we publish and a lot of kindness, hopefully, behind the scenes. I think there is the opposite with a lot of other publication where there's a facade of kindness that hides a kind of vicious
Yeah.
cruelty. And I don't know, it's the kind of shit that puts me off wanting to publish a lot of places, even if I could, you know. But yeah, anyway, thank you, Blake. Ollie, you wanted to read.
Hey, hello. Yeah, token Brit here. Exploring the
Now,
internet.
you're going to read a piece I think that we just accepted this week and that we're publishing later this month, right?
Yeah, that's for the Blockbuster Bomb theme, right? Yeah, and yeah, like I was reading through the submission page, and yeah, that just like married perfectly with like something that was rattling around in my head, like, you know, with everything going on in the world. So I then wrote a thing to, I guess, deal with it in some way. So thank you for hosting my therapy session. Okay, so yeah, it's called The National Normal. It's one more song until midnight and the end of the world. The guy on TV said so. He's waddling backwards, slurring his words as he introduces this final act. Some classy-looking girl singer with a shiny gold dress and a brass band behind her. This girl is the last girl all of us watching will ever see. It was decided a while ago, and ever since, we've lived our lives in the shadow of this moment. The most significant night in human history is what the continuity announcer called it. Not many people know that's what that person is called. The one who speaks over the pictures of flying hay bales and happy, interested people playing wheelchair basketball together. But I do, because I work in television, or worked as of today. Runner. That's what they called my job, because they expected you to run like those kids at Wimbledon, all shiny and excitable, ready to deal with any demand at a moment's notice, and obedient, always obedient. Luckily, they teach you that bit in school. But the kids at Wimbledon only have to deal with fetching balls and occasionally towels to be smashed and sweated on, respectively. That's just about it. But when you're a runner, you never know what you're about to get yourself into. They could make you do literally anything, for any reason, whether or not it even appeared to be aiding the production in any way, whether or not it would be demeaning for you. And if you refused to do whatever it was, there was always someone else who would apparently be glad to do it, and that someone could take your place just like that. And then they would click their fingers. The thing that made me say that the next thing like that would be the straw that breaks the camel's back was when they made me be a vox pop dissenter. That means the guy who says the controversial opinion in those news items when they interview people in the street. One thing about my company is that whenever they needed to interview people in the street, they just grabbed production workers and pretended they were the people in the street. Apparently saves time filling out forms. So the bald sound guy becomes the bald financial advisor. The fusilli-haired AD becomes the fusilli-haired solicitor. And the runner who's still got spots becomes the midweight marketing consultant who's still got spots. Another thing about my company is that they never gave anyone shit jobs to pretend they had. It was decided a while ago that it would hurt national morale if anyone below a certain tax bracket was shown on the channel we work for. It was decided a while ago, but it was definitely decided before the bomb. Don't let them use that as an excuse. They made me say that we never should have voted for the bomb, that we were throwing lives away recklessly, that this wasn't what humanity was supposed to do. They made me say this to make me look stupid. They made me say this to make sure that the item met broadcasting regulations regarding fairness and balance. It was decided a while ago that it was very important to let people's voices be heard. But it was also decided a while ago that we were detonating the bomb and there was no going back. Retreat would be seen as a sign of weakness. That brass band has just started up, upbeat but dignified, and if I were some music blogger trying to sound impressive, I'd say it was beautifully textured, layered tribute to the spirit of humanity. Music stopped being my thing a while ago, though. I gave up the bassoon when I fucked up during the school band's recital at the massive concert hall with the pointy walls and ceiling. Pure panic attack stuff. No bodily fluids got involved, at least. But that was all a while ago, and it's not really the point. None of that is relevant anymore. Not in the new world, post-referendum. If anything does exist after the bomb goes off at midnight, If aliens discover and study the smoking detritus our civilization leaves behind, for instance, and my life somehow becomes the subject of major academic research and debate, it will probably end up being split into pre-referendum and post-referendum chapters. That was before everything changed, after all. That was when everything changed, after all. Post-referendum, my future became finite. At least beforehand, there was this nebulous idea that everything would be around forever, that some sort of career ladder would reveal itself to me and allow me to climb up its rungs. The options would open out and I could take my time to pick my way through them. Post-referendum, the nature of my conversations changed. It was decided a while ago that that's how people should think. And because of that, our remains will tell a certain story to whoever digs us up in the non-existent future. But obviously, logically, it can't have always been that way. We wouldn't have voted for the bomb if everything was so great pre-referendum. We wouldn't have decided that this world wasn't worth saving. We wouldn't have decided to blow it all up before it got any worse. It was decided a while ago. Must have been around when the fourth wave happened, but we should get a say, a proper public vote on our future. And even though it didn't go the way I wanted it to, 2 choruses from midnight, I just have to accept the outcome. The singer is warbling away now, doing that thing where she's putting on a voice and pronouncing all the vowels weird, which is what's popular post-referendum. I wonder how many things she didn't want to do she did to get to where she is now, singing on national television, the last song before the bomb. She must have really wanted it. She must have wanted it more than anyone else who ever wanted to be the final act. That's what they keep telling me, on lunch breaks, in the studio while we set up the cameras, in the office while they drink the coffee that someone bought them. If you really wanted something, you'd be willing to do anything to get it. And if you don't get it, you must not have wanted it enough. Someone else must have wanted it more. Every person who works at my company says words to that effect. Every single one. My parents never said it. My girlfriend from sixth form never said it. But everyone in the media says that. I'm not sure when it was decided that they should all say that. It must have been a while ago. Looking at the singer, she must be younger than me. Yeah, that's pretty clear now. I never thought anyone on TV was younger than me pre-referendum. But post-referendum, age really is just a number. Because all of our deaths suddenly got booked in for the same appointment. So younger or older, it doesn't actually matter, other than how bad it makes you feel. She must have wanted it more than me. To get on TV while all I ever did was run to get people like her coffee. She wanted it more, so that just makes sense. But looking at her, it makes me remember the truth of what's going on. What they didn't want you to think about. That this is the final day. The final act. There's nothing after this. Not even CFAX. My final day was spent chasing the cat. It's not her fault. It's mine, and all the others. The moth may be naturally attracted to the light, but it still has no excuse if it ends up electrocuting itself. My whole life, pre-referendum, I never knew what was really going on behind that closed door at parties, always leaving before the after party, where everything truly intoxicating went down. Pre-referendum, there was always time to back out of it all. Multiple opportunities to make my excuses and run back home tail between my legs, with plenty of evenings still left to waste away on the PlayStation without even a passing thought of her. But post-referendum, the need to see how deep the rabbit hole grew and grew until I jumped. It was wild days, those first few weeks post-referendum. People were partying one moment, rioting the next, reenacting that photo of the sailor kissing the girl in Times Square or somewhere. I got in on all of that, boots on the ground and all. One thing about my company is you get invited to a lot of parties. Important media people standing in well-lit apartments with expensive art installations. That whole scene. As a runner, you may not be high up on the ladder, but you are on it. And better yet, you're behind the closed door. You're staying after hours. When everyone's taken their lanyards off, suddenly the playing field is a bit more level. And it was in this scene that I met the cat. Actually re-met her, but I don't think she remembered me from uni, and I don't really want to hurt my chances by coming across as some weirdo who remembers things from before a while ago, so I never brought it up. The cat would always lavish you, but only when it was your turn. There was this whole cabal of us running around, placing ourselves wherever she needed us. A gender-swapped caliph and her harem, it was all very London. The cat liked me because I looked weak in that news report when they made me say the bomb was a bad idea. The cat always said she liked the combination of weakness and exposure, and that meant the cat liked me at certain points in time, at certain locations in the city. Those days went by in a dark, hazy mess of a memory, and most of them were spent naked or reciting poetry. That was my depraved period. That was my life when it was neither pre-referendum or truly post-referendum. That was, as dim memory serves, my real life. Then it was decided it was over. I never really talked to any of my harem mates, only running into them when it was time for one of us to go and another to come in. They're all going to die when this final song ends, just like me. It all ended because the cat was very worried about this new thing coming in, the national normal. Our government was going to review the referendum decision. They said they were going to give things one more go. And if the public, that's us, lived our lives as if we were still pre-referendum and acted as normal, as though nothing had ever happened, then it was still possible that the bomb might not go off, and everything would be fine. It was decided pretty much overnight that to meet the requirements of a national normal, all of that debauchery and rioting and excitement had to end. The cat's harem disbanded. We lost contact and everything went back to normal. I haven't had sex since, and that was a while ago. There are all sorts of people in the studio, encircling the singer as she belts out her chorus. They're all sitting around fancy tables, watching the final act with the kind of reverence you can only achieve if you're getting paid. They're all celebrities, many of them on the books of this particular channel. Some of them would have been on the same sets as me, delivering pieces to camera about terrorist cells and bunnies finding a new home, bumbling through stilted banter on curved sofas, demanding a coffee that's a higher temperature to the last one the runner got for them. And that runner may have been me, or it may have been one of the other ones. It didn't really matter. We congealed it into one mass in the eyes of the talent. The thing that made me say that that was the straw that broke the camel's back happened today, and it was all because of the national normal. It was decided that a strong social hierarchy would enable the public, that's us, to behave as though nothing had ever happened, and very quickly, kindness and understanding became dissident behaviors. The memories of those days in the aftermath of a referendum, when society crumbled for one moment underneath an endless sun, were scrubbed out by the national normal. Life would only be worth saving if we all acted properly, in accordance with what our social betters wished for us. Any eccentric behavior could doom us all to the bomb. Even up until today, they hoped that the public, that's us, would behave ourselves and that everything would be fine. They've stuck a golden clock in the bottom left-hand corner of the TV screen. It's counting down to midnight, and its presence means that there's not long left. The girl's just finished singing her chorus for a second time, and now it's the bridge. The bit of the song that's different from the rest. The bit you don't remember. The guy on TV was the one who ruined it, not me. If the aliens come and dig up my story, and that's all the hope we have now, they need to know that at least. There was never anything wrong with me. There was never anything wrong with the coffee either. The coffee was more than hot enough. It was in the guy on TV's hands with plenty of time to spare before his next link to camera. But in accordance with the national normal, the guy on TV had to make sure I knew my place. In accordance with the national normal, he had to demand better of me. He had to test me to make sure I wanted it enough. And if I didn't want it, there would always be someone else out there ready to take my place. There would always be someone else out there who could fetch the coffee faster, brew it better, keep it hotter. Well, there's nobody else out there who's running the cloakroom today, shoving their head underneath the sink, face up, spinning the tap around all desperate, screaming up towards the ceiling as the water surged onto his face, stinging the raw skin across his cheek, rushing into that crevice between your nose and eyes, heat searing through his body, lighting up every pain receptor, hoping beyond hope that this bullshit water was even doing anything to cool the scalded skin. Nobody else today was questioning why he was even trying to save his precious face, when today would be the final day and the end of the world, no matter how much anyone else tried to delude themselves into thinking normality would save them now. staring right at my new face, a red lightning bolt scorched across one side, agonizing over myself in that cloakroom mirror. That was where I said that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. But now, as the big hand of the golden clock points directly down to a hell as hot as the coffee that incinerated my face today, it's pretty obvious that the camel's back got broken a while ago. It's quite clear that, despite all my efforts to create some sort of happy memory of life to take to my explosive end, it was decided a while ago that we were all going to go quietly. Well, scalded face or not, I had to meet the cat today. I had to tell her how I really felt. We had to share a special moment. Dredge up a vague memory of better days one last time before the bomb went off. If we couldn't do that, then I don't know. I really don't know. But there had to be some goal to cling on to today. Just messaging the cat proved fruitless. She was busy at work. She had an important job. She was a journalist for a rival TV channel to the one I worked for. She was working on a story about someplace on the South Bank's preparations for their end of the world party tonight. After typing out a message saying it was important to see her and there was something big to say to her, all the cat could reply with was about how she needed to stay late tonight. She needed to prove she wanted some promotion coming up that I should understand because we would both do anything to get to where we wanted to be. So there was nothing else to do but make a climactic romantic gesture. A cynic might look at me buying a bundle of flowers the size of my head, jumping aboard a rush hour tube train packed as tight as sardines, with all the commuters adhering to the national normal and making no fuss at all, then marching over to my former rival TV channel's offices and asking at reception for the cat, using her real surname and everything. And they might say that I had jeopardized the national normal, that I was dooming my fellow man to the bomb with all of his dissident behavior. Well, this cynic isn't going to be happy about what happened next. The receptionist hid her dismay at my face really well. It must have looked proper bad. Worse than when I was staring at it in my cloakroom. All the dirt and normality of my tube ride must have made it flare up, setting fire to half my face in the most boring way possible. The receptionist smiled at me and ushered me towards a man in a lanyard. This man said it was good to see me, and led me into a lift at the back of the reception area. We went up, and all the while he was saying to me about how they weren't going to put makeup on me, they didn't want to take anything away from my disfigurement, that this would make some great content. When we heard the ding and the doors opened, the lanyard man marched me straight from the lift and into the studio, packed with an audience on tiered seating, all commanded to applaud by one of the assistant producers as soon as he saw me walk in. One thing about my company was that you always left work feeling ugly, so it was really easy to play the role assigned to me, up there under the bright lights, on that hot pink circular sofa, with the lady on TV being earnest at me, looking me in the eyes and saying, "It's not my fault. It's not my fault." Over and over. The studio audience joined in too, like some cult chanting their holy mantra. "It's not my fault," they were saying. "It's not my fault." The whole place was reciting the words, even the producers in their flannel shirts and puffy gilets, even the techies with their asses hanging out their jeans. "It's not my fault." Every pair of eyes locked on the scalded side of my face. "It's not my fault," they all said, looking at the burn splayed out across my cheek. "It's not my fault," they all said, their words getting right inside the crevice between my nose and my eyes, splitting the skin, making me cry red tears. "It's not my fault," each one of them said, looking right at me as if I wasn't there. When the aliens dig us up, they'll create a narrative of events based on what they find, so it's important to help them get it right as much as possible. They already have video evidence of me sharing a dissenting opinion, even if they force me to say those words. So with the platform afforded to me, right there on national television, I had to reinforce my stance. Let the aliens be absolutely clear that it wasn't my fault. So from my perch on the circular sofa, with everyone chanting, "It's not my fault, it's not my fault," I said what I had to say. I said that the national normal was only proving why we voted for the bomb in the first place, that this world throws away lives recklessly, that we had become what humanity wasn't supposed to be. I said this to make sure the aliens knew where I stood. It was decided a while ago that it was very important to let people's voices be heard. But it was also decided a while ago that we were detonating the bomb and that there was no going back. The TV audience didn't hear much of my rant. The chanting never stopped. The lady on TV had a louder voice than me, and the studio audience formed a mass chorus that drowned out any dissenting opinion. But naturally, the men still came for me and dragged me away. The heavenly lights of the studio dimmed and my world became black. The cat came to visit me in the cell once her shift was over. Socials are lighting up about you, she said. You're the reason the bomb is going off tonight, she said. She pointed her phone at me. My face was on it, against a neon green background with several large words in block capitals and also an image of an explosion. Then the cat hit play. It was a clip from her company's YouTube page, showing me on this TV show. There were a bunch of captions that kept popping up throughout. This mediocre man has been cancelled, and here's how. The bomb is going off tonight, and it's a mood. The national normal was squad goals, but it's over. Then there was a picture of a big cartoon face crying. The cat had made the video herself, she said. That's why it took so long to get here, she said. I asked her why she made me look like such a dick. It's what they wanted, she said. She had to think about her career, she said. There was a promotion to senior content editor coming up soon, she said. The men had wheeled out this gigantic old CRT TV for us prisoners to watch the End of the World program my former employer was showing on their channel. The guy who kept listing the names of African countries over and over. The guy ripping clumps out of his own hair. The girl who hadn't moved from her bench the entire time I'd been in my cell. And then me. The guy with the burned face. And the cat. We were all bathed in the end. A once-in-a-lifetime moment. The most significant night in human history. Coming to us live. I reached my hand out to the cat. Let's just do it. Right here. Right now, I said. It's the end, Kitty. Let's go out with a bang. And the cat was reluctant. Kind of recoiling away without stepping backwards. What would her boss think, she said. She couldn't risk it, she said. Not with this promotion coming up. I extended my arm further and further. Let's face it, I was trying to grab her boob. I was pretty fucking desperate for something. Literally just one thing to take from the end of the world. For one act of humanity, of human emotion, of raw animal energy to seep into my fingertips and let me feel what it must have been like to live a real life at some point in time a while ago. But I couldn't reach. I obviously didn't want it enough. Even at the end of the world, I didn't want Kitty enough. She'd see me again soon, she said. She hoped everything worked out here, she said. And at least the cat didn't turn me down because of a lightning bolt across my face. She's not that shallow. She never even noticed it, because she never looked at me when she talked. She looked at her phone, but never at me. And that brings us up to now. All the celebrities in the studio on TV are counting down from 10, and the classy-looking girl singer's hitting her final note. The final warble committed to human history. And now the guy on TV, the guy who scorched my face, he's waddling back onto camera and he's saying something. Yeah, he's saying that despite today's dissident behavior, he's proud of every single other person who committed to the national normal. And now he's saying, let us all ring in the end together. And the countdown has reached 2 and 1 and bright, hot, white light, scalding my everything. Just like the coffee got my face, only 1,000 times worse. And it's what they always wanted. I decided a while ago I wasn't going to let this happen to us. But one person alone can't change fate.
That was awesome. First of all, I really loved your delivery of that. Like, you really, I think Blake said in the chat, like, precision. And I loved, it was understated, but you really emphasized things when it mattered in a way that really drove home the like emotional resonance of the story. I think we sent you the acceptance email on this one, but I just wanted to say, I love the fucking world building in this piece. It's just really, it's very rich. It's very funny. it's the perfect kind of like dystopian world building where you can see the real world reflected in it, and it's just turned a notch in that direction, you know, in the direction of tyranny, in the direction of
Yeah.
like something really bleak and depressing. And I think you fucking nailed it, and I'm really happy.
That's kind of what real life feels like right now. Like,
all the television studios, the world building of the media environment, that was all really great. So this is going to be published in Misery Tourism and
Yeah, some later this month. We're kind of behind. We actually just started our Blockbuster Bomb June theme today because we had so much overflow from our unthemed
right.
month. But yeah, it'll be published probably before the end of this month. Maybe it might leak into July a little bit. We'll see.
Well, I look forward to reading it and knowing what it sounds like, and then reading it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I really loved. There was a line in there that said the national normal was squad goals, but it's over. I love that line because it sounds like such a. I think I mentioned it in the acceptance for it, but it just sounds. It has like simultaneously the flavor of like 1984, but also like Polygon shit that you'd see like as some clickbait or something. It's really just great. This whole piece is really great at conjuring like the best elements of 1984 Orwellian elements, just the best parts of them, and mixing them with modern stuff that's actually going on right now. Like you said, you know, it's really, I just really love how it does that.
I actually said that. I mean, I was so blown away by your delivery. I actually used the phrase surgical precision. It really felt like, you know, you were doing a living autopsy of the last moments. It was just, it was beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, as I say, like, it's like, again, like all the language is just like bubbling around my head for ages. So like, yeah, like the Blockbuster Bomb prompt just like kind of put it into a context that I could then use to actually formulate something with it. So yeah, like I do love like the themes on the months. Like it means that, you know, people are like writing stories for you and not just like,
yeah. I mean, some people definitely are, and I appreciate it whenever someone like actually does. I sometimes get the impression that, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I do sometimes get the impression that someone looked at our submission page and said, "Oh, I kind of have a piece that if you squint will fit in there," and sometimes that really works. I mean, sometimes we get pieces where you can tell it wasn't really written for the theme, but it fucking works, you know, and it makes you think about the theme in a new way or something. But it's flattering to hear that this was written for the theme. That's awesome. So anyway, I think, Rudy, I don't think anyone else has signed up for the open mic, right, in the chat?
I didn't see anyone, no.
Okay, in that case, I think we will call it a night here. I will actually do this correctly this time and not end the entire call. I'm just going to end the recording in a couple of minutes here, but I'll leave the call open so people can chat or whatever. Last week, I hit the end call button instead of the stop recording button, and it was traumatic. Anyway, that was Misery Loves Company. Thank you, everyone who read. It's awesome. Every week is fucking awesome. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, give us a look, miserytourism.com, or follow us on Twitter @miserytourism, or even better, come by next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, and join us for the next reading. Anyone's welcome to come. Anyone's welcome to read. We tweet the link out about 15 minutes before 8. Yeah, come join us. It's fun. Anyway, that's it. Fuck it. We're done.